Hello, and thank you for joining the session. Today we're going to continue working on our chatbot. As you can see, it looks like our Discord channel is up and running just fine. I'm going to send a message to Twitch, and I'm going to hit enter, and that was very fast. So I'm pretty excited about that. So it looks like the near real-time messaging that we're doing with Pusher seems to be doing all right. So I'm pretty excited about that. One thing that isn't working so well, though, is the integration we have with Discord, mostly in finding the author information. So what I'm going to do is pop into here, and let's see, what was it? Live controller and author info. Where is that? Here we go. Author info. So I am going to flush our cache first of all, and then I am going to skip this part. I'm just manually going to skip this part so that it will force my Discord messages to not show up with any information. So let's see here. Let's do. Actually, I'm not going to invalidate the cache. I'm going to skip it. So we're just not going to check for the cache. And then I'm going to see here. Let's do remote ID dot. I know this does not exist. So if this works as I'm thinking it will, I should be able to reload our page here, and it doesn't see that I'm a Discord user. So the main issue we had with Discord previously was that we didn't have it set up to do anything as the app. So if we look at our other systems for Twitch, let's see, I'm going to close some of these namespaces. If we look at YouTube, we have user level and app level completely filled out. If we look at Twitch, we have app level and user completely filled out as well. Unfortunately, for Discord, the only thing that we really completed was the persistence for and the API for the user level. And I don't really want to do anything at the app level because it was going to be kind of a pain. So let's see here. We have Discord config. I think what we can do is use our bot token. So if we can use our bot token to get user information, we don't actually have to go through the whole OAuth dance at the app level just yet. So let's look at the Discord API. Let's see, it's Discord developer portal. I want to get user. So I want to do avatar data. Get user. Here we go. So it's just /user/user ID. I think I can pass the bot token. So what I'm going to do is create a. I'm going to create a new window and move that off to the side so that I can check the credentials a little more safely. So I have that up and running. And so what I should be able to do is check our services. Oh, YAML. And somewhere in here we have, don't know what that's about. We're just going to ignore those for now. So we have Discord app bot token. Let's see where that's being used. Discord app bot token. There we go. So this is being used in Discord app, Discord config. Was that actually there? Just wasn't named right. So I'm going to rename these here. So we're going to rename it to bot token. And let's see, I think it's going to rename that as well. So that's good. Okay, cool. As far as the Discord API, the things that we're going to need here are, let me double check what we did for this one. It's going to be pretty similar. So we had a Discord config, URL generator interface, user OAuth credentials token. I don't think we need all of that. So let's go ahead and just do the bare minimum here. Let's do private Discord config. And we'll get that from the app Discord config. Implement constructor. And let's do get user info. All right, well, let's call it what they called it on Discord level. So they called it get user. Okay, well, let's just do get user. And we'll give it a user ID. That's what they call it. Yeah, user ID, I'm fine with that. Let's do a new client. We'll do Guzzle HTTP client. Client get, and I think it's API dot, no, it's discordapp.com/API/users. And then user ID. All right, so we want the response from that. And just by default, this is going to fail horribly. So response, let's do return JSON decode response get contents. And then we want it as an associative array. So we can then go back to our live controller, and we had a section for decoding Discord authors. And is that being used yet? Yeah. All right, so it's always giving back a no Discord user. So what we're going to do is use our Discord API, which we're not doing currently. So let's add private Discord API. All right, so that did I get the right one? Yeah, I did. Cool. All right. API. There we go. So now we have access to this Discord API, and let's just run dd this Discord API get user author ID. And I should be able to do, let's go to the network tab. Hello all. Discord comes back with errors, fine. Call to member function, get user on null. All right, I'll allow that. So this is the right, is this the right one? I think it might be. So the URL, oh, actually it's a post request, so I can't very well. Let's do copy as curl. Let's see how this looks. I forgot about that. So there's a problem with the way that Valet is set up, that you can't use the self-signed certificates very easily, which is annoying. So I can try doing -k. Let's see what it gives me. That's not going to be useful. All right, so I think the error that it's giving us is because I'm not actually storing it. So we're storing it, meaning the Discord API. So now let's see what happens if we reload. All right, so I'd expect that. Author info preview. Yep, so we're getting a 401 unauthorized. So we actually need to pass something in addition to our request here. So let's go into get user, get URI along with options. So I think this is where I can do the headers. Double check. I can see here. Yeah, okay, so it's just headers, and then we can figure out what value we need to pass there. So let's go to Discord, API, and headers. Bot authentication. Bots. Because I think it's. I just need to figure out what the authorization code needs to, how it needs to be sent. I think it's just sent with something different. Opcodes, status codes. There we go. Oh, it's all the way up here. I get lost in all of these different API places. All right, so I should be able to do authorization header. Let's do bot. And Discord config. Get bot token. All right, so let's see if this works. Okay, so we at least get something else. No route found for get admin. Author info. Okay, so we're just doing DD. So we're getting the right value out, which is awesome. So we need, let's see here. Discord config. Live controller. All right, so we get the information that we need. So let's do username, return. All right, so we should at least be able to get the username out like this. Sure enough, we can see Simensen as the username, which is good. Next, we need to get the avatar. So let's look for how we were generating the avatar URL before. Let's see. I think I was maybe doing that in the controller previously for when Discord users connected. Let me see if that's true. Yeah. User details avatar. Oh. Actually, I was just building this string by hand, so I'm just going to build it by hand again. And I did run into an issue where data avatar is empty in some situations, specifically with one of Supernova's Discord accounts. Avatar is null. I don't know why. Maybe they actually have reasoning for that. Let's look for avatar. User discriminator. Ooh. User ID. In case the default user avatar endpoint, the value for user discriminator in the past should be the user's discriminator module of 5. In the case of the user avatar endpoint, Okay, so let's see if we can do something else with that later, because I'm not super sure that's important. So we want to use this information here. So if user info ID and user info avatar, we're actually going to do something. So we will do let's do sprintf. Go. All right. So the information we had previously included the discriminator, right? Is that what we had? Actually, I don't know. It's not going to show up on here. It's a bummer. All right, so I guess if we don't have a proper avatar URL for somebody, then we are going to send an empty string, which will give them our empty avatar, which is totally fine. So if I reload this, in theory, I should have information for Simensen. Awesome. Cool. So that actually works rather nicely, and I'm pretty happy about that. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to undo the cache now, or the cache block that I had set up, because I don't want this to continue to be like this. So I'm going to do false. There we go. Now it is still going to get my information locally from the DB first, which I think will be fine. So let's see here. Okay, cool. Let's see. So we have Discord API added. author. Ah, I would have let that go. I thought maybe there was one more place that I had hacked the cache, but I couldn't remember exactly. All right, let's see here. Discord API. All right. Skills HTTP client, that looks good. Rename bot token. All right. Cool. Okay, so that should be fine. I should probably restart our consumer. And we're going to want to restart the production bot as soon as the deployment has finished, which is going to take a little while, I think. Let me pull up Slack so I can see what's happening. Let's see here. All right, so I should be able to see when that pops back up. I'm trying to remember what I said I was going to work on today. Let me double check here. Maybe just some refactoring, which sounds kind of boring if I'm honest. Let's take a look at sort of where we've been so far, building the multi-platform chatbot. Twitch, we're still not successfully handling reauthorization if the Twitch connection goes down. We also have a problem with Discord. Discord will disconnect at some point, and it doesn't automatically reconnect for whatever reason. So those two things, let's do reconnect if disconnected, and let's do the same thing here. We actually handle the refreshing of OAuth, but we don't do the reconnect if disconnected. Let's pull this up. All right, on Admin Live, we are now translating the Discord users, which is good. So I would say, for the most part, the live interface is pretty nice. I'm a little bummed that it looks like there is literally nobody. Oh, hey, there's one Twitch watcher now. Sweet. There was a lot more chat in other sessions recently, which was pretty cool. To be able to have people actually typing into chat and having it show up. But this is fine for now. I'm going to send another quick message. I'm going to send this from Twitch. Then I'm going to try and I'm going to fire up the Restream bot and see if I can get something in from YouTube as well. All right, so looks like Michael has joined Discord, it looks like. I must not be properly handling the join messages. So it shows that Michael showed up in Discord, but it does not show the actual message that he joined. So, hi Michael, nice to see you. Thanks for dropping by. Your message just showed up on the live chatbot that we're writing, so you're adding to the conversation for this session, which is awesome. I'm going to send another message now from Restream, which send a message both to Twitch and to YouTube, and hopefully that will show up in here. So, hello from Restream bots. All right, so the Twitch message came through relatively quickly. The message from YouTube is going to take a little longer. Again, the refresh on the YouTube stream is a little slow, mostly because it is actually polling, whereas the Twitch bot and the Discord bot are actually getting real-time messages. So we're pulling from the API to get chat messages when we refresh the page. So if I refresh the page now, it's polling, and then it'll poll every 20 seconds, but it's also receiving real-time messages. It's a bit low from, Michael's saying that it's a bit slow from Discord. Actually, I don't know how much the drift is from me, but I'm going to do a test here and say, you can tell me how this is on the video. Hi from Discord. So I'm going to say when I hit enter, and then you'll see when it shows up on the chat. So enter. So from my perspective, the chat messages are actually coming in pretty quickly. The problem is that the actual video stream, I thought there was actually more than a 15-second delay. So what you're seeing is the fact that there's a delay from when I record it to when I'm recording it, there's some delay before it actually gets broadcasted out. So it's partially the encoding process, it's partially the bandwidth process, it's partially Twitch actually streaming that back out to everybody. So there's a delay. I just didn't know how much it was. But if you're saying it's about 15 seconds, that's actually pretty good. I thought it was closer to 30 or 40 seconds sometimes. I think it maybe depends. But thank you for joining the session. Being able to see you on here is pretty cool. Otherwise, there weren't a lot of other people chatting, which didn't help a whole lot. So one thing that I'd like to do is maybe, and this could be considered part of the refactoring, is I'd like to move this chat so that we could have it show up on the actual episode pages as well. So if I go to astrocasts.test, and I see this next live session, what I'd like to do is have the chat show up in a little box here so that people could actually see it along with how it is. So while the episode is live, I would like to see the live chat show up in this little section. And then we would bump the other recordings down. Actually, I'm going to go to the live site because it's filled out a little better. So if I go to the live site, so it's filled out a little better here. So what I would see is this stuff being bumped down and then having live chat show up on here so that people could actually see if they're watching it from this page. I'd also like to have something like I have with the Twitch Live dashboard, and I've seen this both on Twitter as well, or YouTube as well, as to have the ability to do a pop-out chat. So I'd like to be able to pop out the chat so that people could move it to a different monitor if they want to, or whatever. That way they could have the video full screen and have like the chat overlay or something if they want to do it that way. So I think that's probably going to be the next thing that I'm going to start working on here. So what I think I'll do is look at the APIs that we've created so far. So far we have, let's see. So we have admin live, we have admin live chat messages. So I think I want to do this same thing, except under maybe the top level API instead of admin, so that anybody would be able to get the chat messages. I think we probably want to get them for a specific session as well, so that we can get those messages after the fact. That's actually the other bit. Let's see if looks like I closed all of the windows. Let's see, where was it? Here we go. After a session has been recorded, so let's say if we go back to session 11, what I'd like to do is have the chat displayed down here, more persistent. So it would almost be like comments on a video post as opposed to live chat. And then maybe allow people who have registered as users to add additional messages after the fact. Super bonus points at some point would be to do the really fancy live replay of the chat messages, so that the chat messages only show up at a point in the playback as to wherever you were. So if you're 14 minutes in, you'd only see the video, the chat comments that are made up to that point in time. That's pretty far-reaching stuff that I don't know if we're going to get to super quickly. So let's go ahead and sketch out what we want. Let's do API. Let's do session chat messages per session ID. And then we'll do API. Let's do session chat messages author info, and that will be a post. So let's call this public chat. Okay. And so if we can get these APIs in place, then we can start slowly adding the front end to it. And honestly, I want to try and make these sessions not be quite as so Adam just said, so that would be a Twitch specific because YouTube phased out annotations on the 15th. Adam, can you link to what you're talking about there? So I can better check that out. YouTube annotations, video annotations, because they never worked. Interesting. So I'm gonna. They never worked on mobile. End screen and cards. Yeah, if you can link to or share what it is that you mean by that. This looks like it's cards and such, but not necessarily the timing on the chat, because how I'm doing it is I'm actually, but it didn't work in mobile either, is what most views in the past to show pop-up style messages in videos. I see. Okay, so I see what Adam's getting at, and that makes sense. Let's do admin live. Yeah, okay, so pop-up style messages, that's not exactly what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, let's see if I can find a quick example. If I go to my videos, I guess I have to go to my channel. And I would go to a video from, say, yesterday. Now let's do this one. As you can see, the chat is empty, and I haven't done any work on this one to kind of clean it up. But if I scroll into it, we can see that there's information here. So it's slowly starting to populate as I go. So you can see people's reactions as you get into the session. So this isn't live anymore, and it looks like I can still post another message. Let's see what happens here. And so it's, yeah, okay, so it's actually going to post at a specific time. So I'm going to post that. So it says at 37:07. Oh, and also you can jump to specific things. So I can look here and jump to video spot 1840 and see that Joe can see himself, or Supernova can see himself. What I'd like to be able to do is do this same sort of thing. This doesn't really have to do with any specific sort of feature for, say, YouTube, because what it's actually doing here is just looking at the time that the message came in. So we're getting timestamp information already, both from all from YouTube, Discord, and Twitch. So I should be able to eventually do the same sort of thing, not having it actually overlay on the video in any way, but be able to see the messages come up as it relates to what's actually happening in the video, and then being able to post additional messages as users after the fact, so that if somebody else is coming in later, they're at 32 minutes into the episode, they could actually start typing as well, and then it would remember that in there. No, you don't have to be sorry. It's good, because I thought maybe there was some weird thing that had happened with YouTube that was completely unrelated, that was more related to the actual chat stuff. So it's cool. I appreciate that, Adam. Anytime people want to talk about stuff like that, that's awesome, because all of these different platforms keep changing things, which is annoying. So if we go ahead and take this and start copying this stuff to a public API, it should be somewhat doable. So let's go ahead. I'm going to close this extra terminal on the side because it's just getting in the way. I don't think I have any proper API controllers yet. So I think I had the time. Where was that? Browse controller, calendar. All right. So let's use our maker bundle. We haven't done that in a while. Bin console, make controller. Let's do API and session chat messages. All right, so it created the things that it thinks we needed, but we don't actually need this. Oh. It's getting stuck in VI. Never fun. RM, okay. So we're creating a new API namespace, which didn't exist before. It's probably all sorts of security considerations that I should really be taking into account here. But I'm not going to right now just because. Mostly like DDoS type things, if someone is constantly polling this information, it probably won't actually be good. So eventually I'm going to have to do some sort of rate limiting and things like that. I don't have the users currently to really worry about that sort of problem just yet, but eventually I will. So I'll need to make sure I'm ready. So live controller, there's a couple of things that I would like to be able to change on this. This decode Discord author, decode YouTube author, decode Twitch author. Honestly, I should probably also have decode Astrocasts author, because that's actually what's happening here first, is if there is an Astrocast user already created, then we just use that. And actually, I'm not even sure if that's super useful, honestly. That would actually be a decent refactoring. So let's consider throwing that out. So this author info endpoint is currently doing a lot of stuff. It's worrying about cache. It's worrying about user OAuth credentials repository. It's handling different things. It's checking different functions based on what the source type was, and then it's doing more cache related things. This seems like way too much. So I think I want to move this into its own service. So let's go to, let's see. So I don't know if we have a top level chat, but let's do that. Let's create a top level chat namespace. Let's do file directory, chat, and then let's create class, and let's call it a author info decoder. I keep calling it decoding. I don't know, it's not really what it is, but whatever. So author info decoding. And then we can copy a bunch of stuff from live controller into that. So let's go ahead and look at the information we need. We essentially need source type and author ID. And if we have that, we can do everything we need to do. So I'm going to copy this entire function for now, along with the decode functions, and drop them into this class. And the first thing I'm going to do is rename this. So let's do decode author info. And we don't need the request or the user OAuth credentials repository. We're going to get the, let's see, call it the source type and author ID. So we don't have to worry about getting that from any specific place. It's just going to be passed to us. So now we only have to worry about these bits. I'm also going to get rid of this. Avatar URL. Just unknown. So we're not worrying about actually, I don't even think we need that. So the fun thing about refactoring sometimes is you find out there's a bunch of stuff you don't need anymore. Because we're just going to assume that this is going to come back this way. But we do need a default case now. So that's what we need this for. So if for some reason we get a source type we don't understand, that is where default comes in. And that's where we can set unknown display name. So the bits that we need Redis. So we for sure need Redis. So private Redis. What else? Mostly looking for things that are red. Let's JSON decode. There we go. We're going to need all of the APIs. So we need the YouTube API, the Discord API, and the Twitch API. So private Twitch API. So we want app Twitch app. No, that's not what we want. Let me see what we had here. That was app Twitch API. I don't know why it wasn't auto-completing. Let's try it again. App Twitch API. Now it works. We'll get the Discord API. We want app Discord, which is good. And then YouTube. Looks like Supernova missed the stream because of FunDB issues, which sounds fun. Looks like you're still listed as unknown Discord user. I think that's because I need to restart the bot. Let me restart the bot and see if it still runs. Yeah, and then... Oh, actually, no, that's because of the cache. Key star. Oh, you know what? We're still working on it. So yours is still going to be broken, unfortunately, Supernova. It's still going to show. Oh, no, now it's working. Great. Awesome. So I'm bypassing the local cache that I had of your broken URL. So yeah, I'm not looking at the users who are who have connected their accounts anymore. I'm just going straight to the service for each of these. All right, so let's see where we were. YouTube API. App level. All right, let's bring all this in. Get rid of all this junk. Cool. All right, so we're still seeing some red. I think this is just the date. I think it's just because JSON doesn't exist. Ooh. Method JSON not found. Ah. Yeah, so that's actually was expecting to be a controller method. So we're passing back the JSON decoded message, and we are passing back the response, which should be just a plain array. So we're going to be doing that in the controller now. So let's go ahead and go back to the live controller and see if we can use this now instead. So we can do response. Let's get rid of, this doesn't need any of those. Okay, let's get rid of our APIs, because we don't need those anymore. I don't think we need Redis anymore either. Let's see where all that is used. Yeah, so we can get rid of Redis as well. So we're making this class a lot more manageable. So APIs and Redis, and we're going to replace these with the author info decoder. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, so now this author info should be this author info decoder, decode author info for source type and author ID. And all the caching and all of this other nonsense now become a part of the service that focuses just on that. It also means we can get rid of these private functions. So let's see now if our original controller still works. Looks like it does. Everything seems to be just fine. Except we appear to have lost all of the viewers. Which I guess is all right, because that happens throughout the session. All right, so let's see where we're at. So if we have author info, chat messages are probably going to be mostly the same. I don't know if we this next page token bit is the thing I'm not 100% sure should be handled here. But let's leave it like that for now. So the author info route we can copy to our new controller we just created. So we'll go API, session chat messages controller. There we go. So we have now the ability, oh, that's one more thing we can get rid of. We don't need this. Sweet. We do need the request still. So we can get rid of user OAuth credentials repository. Makes this whole process even lighter than it was before, which is awesome. Okay, so we want this to be API, session chat messages, author info, and we'll do info method post, and then we will do copy of live messages. This is going to need, so now we can actually pass in author info decoder. This would be a method-specific dependency. Same thing here, actually. So we don't need this as available everywhere. Cool. All right, so looks like we had two here. So live. All right, so that was just rendering the actual chat interface, which we'll still have to do somehow, but we don't have to do that today. Chat messages. Did we copy that already? We did. All right, so we want API, session chat messages, chat messages. We'll look at the implementation because that's what we already have. Get guest session. So this is the thing that we don't need to do here. And the reason is that we're going to specify which session we're talking about. So let's do send chat messages for sessions. We'll do it that way. And I should be able to do a session repository. All right, let's rework how this is listed. No, I actually think I can just do session here now that I think about it. I need to double check how to do that though. Oh, I spelled entity wrong. Awesome. Param converter. There we go. So I want post session to be a session. All right, so if this works right, param converter. Missing import. No. It's right there. All right, let's see what happens. So let's go ahead and switch this now to API chat Session chat messages. All right. Chat messages 71. All right, cannot determine controller argument. Let's type in it with non-existent class interface. App controller API. Oh, really? There we go. So now it's looking for app controller API session. App session. That one too, huh? I've not done a very good job on this one to bring things in correctly. All right, so not found. I think that's okay because I don't actually have that. So let's do cast.test. Let's go to admin, projects. 79. Oh. All right, so no route found for that. Do I have a session prefix? I did. There we go. Session, but no such service exists. So why is I think the problem here is my param converter isn't working right. I mean, I had a lot of things going on here, but this one for sure. Missing import. Let's go back to param converter. Converter's true. Performs find one by. If your route wildcards match properties on your entity. Huh. Maybe I don't even need it. Wow. Okay, awesome. I guess I was making it way more complicated than I needed it to be. All right, so we see the messages for this particular session. Let's look at session 78, different messages, hello all. Let's go to 77. Let's go to 76. Cool, so I think that what this means is that it's the object not found, which is fine. So I think this will be a 404 error. Let's turn on this. Yeah, so this will be a 404 error in production, which is good because that's kind of what we'd be looking for. So the main differences between the live interface and the user-facing interface is that we're going to have to specify which session we want in order to get the information. But yeah, I think that's probably where we'll end for today. I'm pretty happy with this refactoring because we're going to be able to leverage the same code now or similar bits of code in two places. I think I'd like to do something more with this next page token to sort of make it more meaningful, I guess. Right now, it's just the last ID. I'd like to not necessarily obfuscate it, but there are some drawbacks to this, mostly in that this next page token URL could be cached. So if it's cached as empty and you keep going back to the same URL over and over again, then that could be problematic. If we look at how Twitch is handling things, not Twitch, YouTube, it's sort of doing the same deal. It's looking for session ID and then it's creating a new page token every time, even if the information hasn't changed. So I think I have a pretty good idea how I'm going to do that. So I think that's probably what we'll do in the next session. All right, well, thank you all for joining. If you have any questions, feel free to ping me on Discord or find me on Twitter. And hopefully soon you'll be able to start asking them on the videos as well. Thank you very much. Have a great day.